2024 continues to delight us with cool fights. On May the 4th, an incredible Mexican derby will take place at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, featuring one of the key boxers of our generation, Canelo Alvarez. The champion plans to defend all belts in the super middleweight division once again, but it seems he is facing the toughest opponent in recent years. The young, ambitious and insanely talented knockout artist Jaime Munguia is set to challenge a more mature compatriot and become the new leader of the division, leaving all the titles in Mexico.
There it is, Sergio, and there goes the white towel. It's in the ring, and that is it.
Some fans criticize Saul for not fighting the best opposition and choosing only those who are noticeably weaker or smaller, but what will they say now? Munguia is fresh blood and one of the most promising prospects in the super middleweight division, and his 43-0 record is terrifying. Will the young Mexican be able to stop the more experienced and wiser compatriot, or is Alvarez still the strongest boxer in the division? We will find out soon, but for now, let's enjoy the countdown. Please don't forget about the likes, comments with 4 words and subscribe to the channel. Here we go. We've watched Saul Alvarez performing at the highest level for a decade. Just think about it. Back in 2013, a relatively inexperienced Canelo was already fighting against the strongest representatives of the super welterweight division, including the pound-for-pound king Floyd Mayweather. Although the Mexican was defeated then, the fight against the money was just the beginning of a great journey. After Floyd, Canelo competed at a catchweight where he defeated renowned champions like Miguel Cotto and Amir Khan, and then moved permanently to the middleweight division where he fought twice against the Kazakh Terminator Gennady Golovkin. In those fights, Saul had to push himself to the limit, but it was worth it as the victory over Triple G made him the face of boxing. After the wars with Golovkin ended, Saul began alternating performances in 2 divisions, once moving up to the light heavyweight division and knocking out Sergey Kovalev, who was recently the top 3 pound-for-pound boxer. By 2021, Alvarez had collected 3 of the 4 titles in the super middleweight division, and he only needed the IBF belt held by Caleb Plant to become the undisputed champion. Saul had to use all his skills as well as his stubbornness and spirit to get his opponent's head and knock him out in the 11th round. Thus began the era of Canelo's reign in the super middleweight division. Many may not be as familiar with Jaime Munguia, so let's start from afar. The guy was born in Tijuana, and unlike Saul, he paid a lot of attention to amateur boxing, achieving prize-winning places at the national championship in different years. By 2012, Munguia had gained experience and could have become a member of the Mexican Olympic team, but did not pass the age restriction. Not wanting to wait for 4 years, the Mexican started a professional career and was very successful. In just 5 years, he won 28 fights and at one point began to be considered as one of the potential opponents for Triple G. But back then, Munguia was seen as too inexperienced and the match was quickly turned down. This circumstance did not upset Jaime too much because soon he fought for the WBO title against Saddam Ali. The young genius needed only 3 rounds to destroy the experienced American, after which the guy had 5 defenses and began moving up in weight. Initially, Munguia found himself in the middleweight division where he again took the WBO title, but not the main version. The guy didn't plan to stay here for long and soon began gradually transitioning to Alvarez's weight class. The first talks about a fight between Canelo and Munguia started in 2019, but back then everything was limited to a couple of interviews. I like that he wants to fight me. You always want to fight against the best. You dream about being the best, and I like this way of thinking. That's the way you should be thinking. It's a little premature right now for him. He needs more experience. Let's return to the present. While Jaime was getting in shape to move up, Canelo decided to change weight classes once again, and for the second time in his career moved up to the light heavyweight division. Last time, the king of Mexican boxing faced Sergey Kovalev, and now he was welcomed by another Russian, Dmitry Bivol. The undefeated technician had a streak of 19 wins, also holding the WBA belt, but had not yet gained popularity among fans. a victory over a behemoth like Canelo could easily fix that. At first, the champ worked as usual, pressed and cut the distance, delivering powerful combinations to different levels, but soon it became clear that the tactic was not working. Bivol skillfully worked with blocks and moved a lot, not allowing Alvarez to focus. Almost all of the Mexican's punches drowned in the defense, causing him to only tire himself out, and from the middle of the fight, Dimitri went forward and started taking rounds. His punches were not as powerful as Saul's, but they confidently penetrated the Mexican's solid defense and did not allow him to even think about counterattacks. Dimitri's domination continued right up to the final bell, and he was declared the winner by the judges.
I'm proud, I'm very proud, and I'm a very competitive person. I've gone up and I've fought at 175. I've gone out of my comfort zone into fighting at a weight that's not mine. And there's no shame in that. Others, I'm looking for challenges that others would be scared to take on because they might lose. So that's what I'm here for, and that's what I'm wanting to do.
Jaime had his last title defense in the middleweight division in February, and by summer he was ready to perform in a new weight. The debut opponent for Munguia was the nearly top-tier Brit Jimmy Kelly. Kilrain had never been one of the best and could hardly claim the belts of the main organizations, but he justified the status of a dangerous journeyman, not allowing anyone to beat him except truly skillful boxers. Before meeting Munguia, Kelly had 3 consecutive victories, including defeating a prospect from Kazakhstan with a record of 28-0. Jimmy came into the fight as a sacrificial lamb for a terrible dragon, however, he surprised everyone. Munguia immediately opened the hunt for the opponent's head, but Kelly moved a lot and very accurately worked with the left hook, thanks to which he took both first rounds. It started to seem that the Brit was too tricky for Jaime, but the former champion increased the aggression and the number of combinations, which allowed him to even the score. In the 5th round, the score was 2-2, and fighters were going to continue exchanging technical punches further. However, one shot decided everything. Munguia hit the opponent with a monstrous hook and scored the first knockdown, followed by another one, and finally a third. Just a few seconds were enough for Kelly to be broken like a reed. The power and cruelty with which Munguia destroyed his opponents was truly frightening, but at that moment, only boxers outside of the rankings could become victims of this guy, and such business sharks as Canelo were preparing for more important fights. After losing to Bivol, Saul admitted that he had rushed with the change of weight classes and returned to his native division, where he soon signed a contract for a 3rd fight against Gennady Golovkin. It's been 4 years since their last fight, during which Triple G had become a champion again. However, being 40 years old and moving up a weight class made it hard to believe in his success. Canelo quickly managed to impose his game on the veteran. First, the Mexican took the center and then began to chase and pin Gennady against the ropes, where he successfully delivered his favorite combinations of hooks and occasionally switched to the body. Golovkin lacked the speed and power to compete with the young champion, at least it seemed so until the last rounds. Somewhere in the 8th round, Triple G seemed to wake up from sleep and began to outwork Saul, showing him levels. The Kazakh's punches regularly pierced the block, while Canelo himself slowed down and no longer looked like an invincible champion. However, he confidently made it to the final bell and was declared the winner by the judges.
It's hugely satisfying to win, as you've said, despite all my problems that I had. I demonstrated in the ring today. Obviously, I wanted to get that KO, but it didn't come because he's a great fighter. But I was able to show, that's why there are 12 rounds in a fight, so you can show and display who's the best. So I'm really happy with what I've done tonight.
Meanwhile, Munguia, who just recently changed weight classes, was looking for suitable opponents for himself, but unfortunately could not find a single worthy name in the super middleweight division. Not willing to sit on the bench until the end of 2022, Jaime decided to fight in a lower weight class, where they quickly found Gonzalo Gaston Correa for him. The Argentine middleweight with a record of 21-5 did not stand out with valuable scalps or incredible knockouts. However, he loved to put on beautiful fights, so he perfectly fit the role of a dance partner for Munguia. Correa, a small and quite slim guy for this weight, while Jaime just a slightly smaller version of David Benavidez. Can you now imagine how great the difference was between them? It was enough for Munguia to just go towards his opponent to make us worry about him. Each punch from the giant looked like a death sentence, and the frightening sounds from accurate hits instantly spread around the arena. But the Argentine tried to hold on. For a while, he managed to minimize the damage, but in the second round, Jaime caught him with a straight right and scored a knockdown. From this moment, Correa began to actively defend his head, and the Mexican noted this, switching his attacks to the body. Just a couple of minutes of focused work, and the opponent was destroyed.
That body shot hurt Correa as well.
And it certainly did. Down goes Correa. He takes a knee.
Yep, it was the left hand to the body. You could see by the reaction.
While conquering the American market, Saul got too carried away and since 2011 has completely stopped performing in his native lands. While there were no super fights on the horizon, smart promoters figured that it was a perfect moment for the king to return home, and soon we got the Canelo Ryder fight in the Mexican city of Zapopan. Given the fans' love for Alvarez, the organizers could put anyone against him and still make a fortune, so the witty Brit John Ryder, on a streak of 5 victories, was far from being the worst option. This time Canelo was more aggressive than usual. The champion often shortened the distance, threw a lot of shots to the body with the left, and initiated brawls both at medium and close range. At first, John liked the idea of exchanges and sometimes landed good uppercuts, but already after the third round, the Brit's nose was broken and his liver was battered by constant hits. In the fifth round, Saul knocked him down with a clean 1-2, and Ryder finally realized that he could not exchange blows with Canelo on equal terms. However, it was already too late. Until the end of the fight, John was taking serious damage and only occasionally offered something in return. A crushing victory for the Mexican King. Well, I was controlling the fight from round 1. Obviously, we wanted to knock him out. We tried 3 times. Like I said, he's a great fighter, a fighter that gave it his all, and he deserves his respect, but in the end, I controlled the whole fight. After the knockout in the fight with Correa, Munguia disappeared for half a year, but the break was worth it, because upon returning, he finally got a top opponent. The ticket to the top of the super middleweight division for Jaime was the Ukrainian veteran Sergey Derevyanchenko. At first glance, the opponent was not remarkable at all, and the record of 14-4 revealed his mediocrity. But do not rush to conclusions. In his youth, Sergey was one of the most talented amateurs of his country, and with the transition to pros, he quickly climbed the rankings. Failures began at the level of championship fights. First, Derevyanchenko lost by split decision to Daniel Jacobs and soon lost 3 more times, but each time against the elites of the division, and the fights were close. In the summer of 2022, the Ukrainian returned with a victory over Joshua Conley, and then he was offered a fight with Munguia for the WBC silver title. Sparks flew all over the place from the first seconds. The guys did not warm up and initiate a series of terrifying exchanges from the start, delighting the fans. The Mexican hit harder and, due to his size, pressed Sergey to the ropes, but Derevyanchenko used excellent footwork as well as constantly weaving his body, thanks to which he avoided blows and threw his own. The Ukrainian's jab repeatedly reached the target, and in some of the rounds, Jaime looked like he was about to turn off, but then miraculously flared up and went on the attack. Right up to the final rounds, Derevyanchenko outmatched his opponent in significant blows and was winning on the scorecards of all judges. However, in the championship rounds, the fresher Munguia surged forward and even knocked Sergey down with a body punch. This very episode helped him win the judges over.
Well, since the 10th round, we were preparing this because in the 10th round we start working from the 10th to the 12th, and in the 12th round we catch him with a good body punch, and I don't know, I think I hit him almost for 3 minutes with no answer, and I don't know why the referee didn't stop the fight, honestly.
Canelo increasingly found himself surrounded by young Mexican prospects. First, Saul almost faced David Benavidez, who had been terrorizing the super middleweight division for several years, and now Jaime appeared on the horizon. It seemed that Alvarez was obliged to fight one of these guys, but the champion played by his own rules and suddenly announced that he would fight against Jermell Charlo. The fight was strange from any point of view, but what was especially bothersome is the difference in weight. Iron Man was the undisputed champion in the super welterweight division, so there was a whole 15 pounds of difference in weight between him and Saul. Throughout the fight, Jermell had only a couple of successful episodes, while for the rest of the time, Saul ruthlessly chased him around the ring like an amateur. After missing a couple of heavy blows at the beginning of the fight, the American realized how great Canelo's power was and was afraid to take risks, so he tried to avoid getting in trouble. At the same time, Alvarez threw different combinations and constantly hit the opponent's body with a right hand, and in the 7th round, he knocked him down, thus definitively asserting his superiority. Thanks to the endurance and some hesitation of Jermell, the fight resulted in a decision victory with a crushing score in favor of the Mexican.
That was my plan, neutralize everything, what he's gonna come with his counter punch and kick with the left hand, and I try to don't get hit, and sometimes the fighters can't do anything in the ring too.
While Canelo was resting on his laurels after the one-sided beating of the little Charlo, Munguia was healing the wounds inflicted by the wild Ukrainian. He missed out on the second half of 2023, but already at the beginning of 2024, the guy was in the ring. For his first belt defense, Jaime was matched up with the most unexpected option, John Ryder, who not long ago fought Saul. It seemed that the matchmakers decided to finally put the Brit against these Latvian devils, or Ryder wanted to try his luck and avenge the loss to one Mexican by beating another. Munguia worked in a very aggressive style, trying to rip the opponent's head off with every punch. Everything looked as if Jaime, on principle, wanted to beat Ryder better than Saul, and to be fair, he was doing well. Bold attacks to the body from medium distance alternated with sharp straights from the lunge. John was not ready for such pressure, and for the first time found himself on the floor already in the 2nd round, and then in the 4th, when he got caught by a counterpunch. Unexpectedly, after a harsh beating, Ryder caught a 2nd wind and, thanks to tactics, took a couple of rounds, but the accumulated damage began to have an impact. From the 8th round, Munguia aggressively went forward again and tried to beat the opponent up with all his might. For a while, John held on, but in the next 3 minutes he fell again, and after that he suffered such a beating that the corner had to stop the fight. Munguia vividly showed the difference between him and Canelo Alvarez. At the press conference after the fight, Jaime received a direct question about the fight with Saul and gave a clear answer.
Yes, I'm ready. Not right now. I need to take a little break and then get ready for Canelo or whoever comes.
Many have wanted to see an epic Mexican scrap for a long time, but Canelo often shrugged it off by saying that he doesn't want to fight his compatriots, so no one really expected the Alvarez-Munguia fight. What a surprise it was for fans when the bout was finally scheduled for May the 4th. In the middle of March, the guys had a press conference where they shared their thoughts on the fight.
He has always been a source of pride and motivation for me. When I was coming up and I used to see him fight, I said, that's a good guy, and I want to be like him. And today we have a chance to face him, and hopefully we get to be like him one day.
This is all about making history. I want my legacy to be about making the greatest history possible. That's what pushes me forward. That's what motivates me. And that's what I want to continue doing, defending my belts and bringing great fights to the fan base.
I don't know about you, but in my opinion, Jaime is one of the most worthy and dangerous contenders in the super middleweight division today. He's young, fast, has impressive size and a very aggressive style, complemented by serious knockout power. To be honest, Jaime looks like the strongest boxer Alvarez has had to fight since Bivol, and it's not guaranteed that the results of these fights won't be similar. However, it's too early to draw conclusions, and it's best to wait for the outcome, especially since there's not much time left. That's it for now. What do you think about the fight? Who will win? Be sure to share your opinion in the comments.